you, Amma. Be blessed by the divine. May the divine energy and good guidance stay with us. Be blessed by the divine. Today we are seeing about Bharathiyar's vellam, that is flood, and Vedatri Maharishi's magnetism. What are the common ideas they were mentioning? That's what we are going to see today. The poem Parashiva Vellam of Bharathiyar's is one of the favorite poem for our Arul Tandai. The first line of that poem is the self present in the interior and exterior is the one which is the vellam, that is flood, called as the divinity by Vediyar. In Tamil, உள்ளும் புறமுமாய் உள்ளதெல்லாம் தானாகும் வெள்ளம் ஒன்றுண்டாம் அதனை தெய்வமென்பர் வேதியரே. This is what it says. The self present in the interior and exterior is the one which is vellam, called as the divinity. Let's see what is divinity. The divine power is imperceptibly prevalent everywhere. That is, without knowing, gradually it prevalent everywhere. Not only all over the universe, but also beyond it. Boundlessly expansive force and consciousness. Which form can be attributed to it? Soil, tree, man, whatever we see are all the expressions of the imperceptible thing. Only that divine thing is existent in the interior and exterior of every object. The verse vellam, that is flood, refers to the mighty space is known as the divinity. This absolute space is a mighty transparent fluid. This fluid is not a liquid, nor fire, or gas, nor gas. It is a transparent, thoroughly permeable, highly penetrative. Only the divine thing is capable of penetratively spreading everywhere. We can think about the airflow. If there is a block, air cannot be flow. It will round about and flow. But the absolute space only can penetratively go through everything without being blocked. It is the only omnipresent thing. So Bharathiyar has mentioned that all pervading nature of divinity as vellam, that is flood. Absolute space, apart from being thoroughly permeable, remains inside and outside of everything, like water inside and outside of the soaked green gram. We can imagine that for that. Also, Bharathiyar is explaining clearly those who had realized that's what he's mentioned, explaining it to us. And in those days, who had realized the nature of such fluid absolute space did not reveal it directly. Maybe the subtle word were not available in those days, maybe. Also, no psychic practice to realize it. Here now, our Guru Vedatri Maharishi has defined it. How? Absolute space as highly transparent, mighty divine fluid. Also, our Guru gave the explanation for the word vellam. Mahan is saying well plus that is, well means pure, means the divine state, and it is wave magnetism. This divine state denoted by remains the subtle magnetic wave. That's what our Maharishi is mentioning. It is capable of penetratively spreading all over the space. Since the divine state is a fluid and had the nature of spreading all over, there is no object or particle without it. Here we can think about that God is present in a pillar and in a peg, like Thunilum irupar, Turumbilum irupar. And also, Vedatri Maharishi, as a mark of appreciation, he used the vellam, that verse, frequently in his discourses. Now let's think about the object and appearance. Which is the material state among all the functional thing all over the universe? Whether apple is a material or an appearance. We used to mention that all can be perceived through five senses as materials. Here our Guru is making us to analyze like this. He is saying we should go beyond the perceptual consciousness to the energy consciousness. When a fruit is put in a fire, it would be burn and become ash. Its atom would disappear. The appearance of the fruit also would disappear. So the fruit is an appearance or the grouping of atoms. Here the grouping of atoms to form the fruit are not destroyed. How? The atoms are the groupings of infinitesimal formative dust. This formative dust are the fragmentation of the divine state. All the movable things are going on changing, like transforming. So this is called happening. If the moment is subtracted, what remains is the only divine. Here let's see what Bharathiyar's subtle philosophical view. The last form taken by divinity alone is present as air, fire, planet earth, grass, worm, animal being, and self being, like man. In that realization, instead of telling that divinity is present as everything, he tells that all the appearance are his self, that the divinity had finally become his self, coming through all other things. As he said in his poem, all the birds flying in the sky are myself, all the animals wandering on the earth are myself, all the trees grows in the forest are myself. Like that he's going with saying about the stars, worms, all beings, and everything beings on the globe are myself. Like that, Bharathiyar is clearly said, and uh, like precisely he is saying the truth. That is, one is the God, that God is the space. Only that space pervades in the interior and exterior of every object, and as it governs everything in all the universal things. How our Maharishi, Vedatri Maharishi, is explaining it, the same thing. Every being unites with the Lord by the divine realization, and seeing the Lord in himself is the destiny of philosophy. That's what our Maharishis. We can realize this to our inward meditation. Finally, what our Maharishi is explaining his own words. Oh my Lord, I have realized the static state as the divine space. Its dynamic state is the energy particle, The wave emanating from the energy particle is the magnetism. The magnetism forms the pressure, light, sound, taste, smell, and mind. I have eradicated all the blemishes and realized the state of perfection by acquirement of the spiritual sense through Kundalini Yoga. I am living in moral ways devoid of any confusion by the understanding of the cause and effect principle. So Maharishi is also concluding as Bharathiyar has mentioned. Here we'll see the uh, poem of Bharathiyar's, just few lines, how Maharishi's magnetism and it is going same. That is, what is sour in raw fruit, Lord Krishna? What is sweet in ripe fruit, Lord Krishna? So, காயிலே புளிப்பதென்ன கண்ணபிரானே, கனியிலே இனிப்பதென்ன கண்ணபிரானே. So, on that day we were talking about அலையும் நிலையும். In that part we were talking about உண்மை நிலை, மேன்மை நிலை. So, that unmai nilai, that reality, if we think about the like unripened fruit, as a material we are seeing as a fruit, but if we go deeply, that the sourness in the fruit, that is what the reality of that fruit. So with this I am concluding regarding Bharathiyar's and Vedatri Maharishi's philosophical thoughts. Thank you everyone for giving me this opportunity. குரு வாழ்க, குரு புகழ் வாழ்க, குருவே துணை. வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க. Thank you, Amma.